Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Iconic Repaints. Thanks for checking out the channel. Got something really cool to show you guys today. This is a kit that I've seen floating around the internet for years. That was almost like a myth, and I never thought I'd actually work on one directly, never thought I'd have it in front of my own eyes, but this is the classic Facto Godzilla vs. Biollante. Godzilla vs. Biollante was a 1989 movie that featured these two monsters right here, Biollante being one of my favorite Godzilla opponents, one of my favorite monsters, very unique, and the movie itself is really good. It's a lot of people's favorites, but yeah, Biollante is essentially a clone of Godzilla. She's made up of Godzilla cells, plant cells, and contains and harnesses the soul of a woman whose father is the mad scientist that mixed all this shit together and created this monstrosity right here. In the movie, even back in 1989, the prop that they used for her looked amazing. She looked so lifelike and very real. She had this enormous presence about her that when she kind of stormed towards Godzilla, like the whole ground shook and everything. So just the way she was presented is it's peak Japanese Godzilla moments. It's really awesome. Ages well. I think the movie came out in Japan and it disappointed at the box office, which they partially blamed on Biollante because they felt like a new monster wasn't pushing the ticket sales. They needed to go back and bring back the classic OG monsters like King Ghidorah, Mothra, Mechagodzilla, Rodan, etc. But as time has gone by, I think appreciation for the movie has definitely kind of spiraled up, and the monster herself is very popular by these days, especially in America. Anyway, yeah, really cool movie, worth checking out if you're into the series at all and you haven't seen it. I think it's a little harder to come across, which is also like most Biollante merchandise. It's just you don't get a whole ton of it. It's usually, and when you do, it's usually big and expensive and enormous, which is why I don't have a Biollante in my collection. But this thing right here, looking at it, makes me want one. It makes me want this, actually. In typical Facto fashion, they have created more of a dynamic living pose between the two. It doesn't look like the prop in the suit going at it. Like they're like the way they are wrapped around each other, and kind of you have all this anguish and rage, and while they're locked in combat here, it's so lifelike. It's very predator and prey. I really dig it. It's the way you have the ferocity in Biollante's like very crocodile-like head. She's got so many teeth. Like even her teeth have teeth. Her tusks. She looks so powerful. And when she starts off in the movie, she basically starts off as like a standing rose form with teeth and tentacles, and she looks awesome, but not nearly as imposing as this. This is where she kind of evolves into looking more like Godzilla. She's got like the big teeth and the plates going down her back. She kind of takes like a form of like a mountain. She looks like if you had like the Titan Gaia personified in the Godzilla universe. That's what Biollante looks like. She just looks very earthly, but very dangerous. And all her tentacles are capped with this Venus flytrap, piranha looking Super Mario Brothers plant head or mouthpiece at the end, where they look very dangerous and menacing as well. One was unfortunate enough to get caught by Godzilla's grasp, and he got ripped off. And of course Godzilla himself, not to be outdone, looks as pissed off as usual. And Heisei Godzilla, especially in the late 80s, early 90s, was a force to be reckoned with. I mean, he was all attitude, and it didn't matter who was in front of him, whether it be man or monster. He just wanted to blast holes into everybody, especially if you were bigger than him. And anybody who's seen the movie knows that Biollante is massive. She towers over Godzilla. Here she's crouched very much to wrap herself kind of like a snake around Godzilla, but if she was upright, she would definitely be way above him. This kit is actually kind of got a little bit of a tragic backstory. But it's also redemption. So This kit was actually done by a colleague of mine, I'll say, Nathan Sisk. My man killed this piece, crushed it. It looked magnificent from top to bottom. It was a work of art, but of course, you can't always really guarantee shipping these things, no matter what kit it is. And this kit in particular is especially scary to ship. I mean, look at it. Like, how are you going to secure everything? What exists in the world that is going to make this easy to ship? So naturally, it got shipped to the client, and it had a hellish journey, because this thing got cracked open in multiple spots. A lot of pieces were broken off. The paint was chipped everywhere. I mean, I have the pictures. I'll show you guys. A lot of the tusks came off. All the vines came off. Godzilla's tail was plocked off. The back of Biollante was a separate piece altogether, right down the seam line. So luckily for the client, fortunately, that I live within 30 minutes of him. So he reached out to me, and I kind of was brought off the bench on this one as like for emergency surgery. And I looked at it, and I honestly didn't know how I was going to make this happen. But again, due to Nathan's engineering skills putting this together, it really wasn't that difficult. Once I started, it was like a puzzle. I just had to figure out what vine went where due to how he pinned things, for instance, or how the paint was kind of matching up against the two separate pieces. I could tell where, usually by the shade of green, where he had things attached. So a lot of things like that, I was able to kind of get most of it together exactly how it should be, and I had to seal the to fill the seams that were left with gluing things again and match paint. So ultimately, I'm thrilled with the way it came out. I think this thing looks ready to be displayed back to its normal glory. Painting it or matching the paint, I should say, was a lot easier than I also anticipated, because I think me and Nathan are on the same wavelength of what what this kit should look like, because I swear I had the same colors pulled, and I thought I was gonna have to get creative and mix all these colors, but I didn't. And it was really, really easy just to find out what he was going for, and I wanted his original vision to shine through. I didn't want to do anything over his work, because his work was 10 out of 10, and I could tell he put his heart and soul into it. So wanted to embellish him on his piece, and I want to make sure I gave him credit. I don't want to rep this like as it's my own work from the ground up. I have the channel, and this came across my path, so I want to use this to kind of feature this marvelous piece, which should be seen by a lot more people. And if I could give credit to another artist along the way, absolutely, I'm all for it. So anyways, yeah, that's the story with this kit. And guys, please also keep subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate your support. It's been cool to see how a lot of it has kind of the subscriber number has really gone up, and I want more content for you guys. So also give me feedback what you guys would like to see more of. I also have the statues kind of coming down the way too, and that's going to be kind of new for me, and I'm sure it won't be a lot. It'll be here and there, but yeah, just keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys. Everybody be safe. Peace.